Those of you with Smyth Utes that have been interested in the CraftTec tonneau covers, here's a quick review of one that I put on a Beetle. It's kind of nice to get an idea of how they work before you plunk out the money. So here it is installed. It's not lockable, and it's a stretched canvas material. You pull this little tab right here, latches pop, and it has hydraulics. It's a pretty good heavy-duty aluminum frame. I think it's pretty well built. I like it, particularly since there aren't many, well, there isn't any made to fit these cars. I did a little bit of extra bolting. You can see I put in 5 1/4-20s there instead of the sheet metal screws that come with it. No big deal. Just wanted a little more on that hinge. It removes pretty quickly. You pop, you can either pop this end or the cover end of the hydraulic lifts, pull it open a little bit further, and the hinge unhooks, and it's pretty light. So literally in 30 seconds you can take it off. The latches bolt into the side here, and on the cover there it is. So to close it, you just kind of give it a little slam down, and that's how it goes. All right, I have it stretched just a little bit tight, so you can see the corner is flaring up a little bit because I probably stretched that a little bit tighter than I should. The directions that come with it are decent, but not great. It took me better part of the day to assemble it and then install it, and I had a couple little issues that I had to work out, but nothing major. One of the issues that I ran into was just purely by the size of it. You can see that this catch, I would have rather had that facing inboard. You can see there's a slot there, so you can slide it in and out, and it adjusts up and down as necessary. So this side I was able to put facing in. That's really how I wanted to do the latch. But on this other side, it worked out that it lined up exactly with the latch itself, which it can't latch on the vertical piece of that. So I had to slide it in and face it out. And then I cut just a little bit more off so it's less likely to catch on something. Again, not a big deal, nothing wrong with anything. It just would have been nice if it worked out a little bit different. The fabric, so let's go through pricing. It's $345 for the Beetle size. It's pretty reasonable for a tonneau cover. They are not cheap, and it is good extruded aluminum pieces. So there you have it. This one has an upgrade fabric. So here's a piece of they have 3 different fabrics. This is the mid-grade. It's called Black Max. It's a little bit heavier. It's black on the underside, which doesn't really matter. The main reason I upgraded to this was the mildew resistance. The basic vinyl that comes on it looks very similar to this, except it has a white underside. The weave on the underside is white, and it is available in different colors, but it is not mildew resistant. $345 plus it was a $40 upgrade for this, and then it was $70 shipping. So all told, it was $455-ish to get it to my house. And then, like I said, it took me better part of a day to put it together and install it. There is a 3rd grade of fabric that is basically the same thing you see tops, convertible tops made out of. So it's more of a canvas finish, and it's more of a matte. This is just a little bit shiny. I wouldn't really call it a gloss. It's maybe a satin finish. The stitching is pretty good on it. I didn't find any construction errors or anything I was unhappy with. I did put a little bit of foam in these corners to kind of reinforce it so that that sharp edge will maybe take a little longer before it starts wearing through the fabric. But that's the bit. If I did it again, I would probably shoot this with the same finish I did the bed liner in, which you could easily mask off where it needs to go and shoot that with some bed liner. That would look pretty slick instead of having the silver there. There's other, you could put black tape on it or some wrap or something to cover it too. plenty of options. There is a little bit of a seal here. Let me see if I can get out of the sun so you can actually see it. There's a kind of a D-shaped, there we go, kind of a D-shaped, so it gives it a little bit of a seal, and then they give you some foam D-shaped, smaller stuff to put up front. So I wouldn't say that it's waterproof, but it will really be close to, well, we'll call it water resistant. You can adjust the cable stops here, so as if that cable stretches a little bit over time. I did re-crimp these. Maybe I'm a perfectionist, but I wasn't real happy the way they were crimped, so I just put my crimper on it, put a little more crimp on it. But everything's very adjustable. There's plenty of room to, for example, if your bed wasn't exactly square, which it's very difficult to make one come out exactly square, but you can adjust it, right, as you're assembling it. These sliders here, right, so you could actually put this together to be a slight parallelogram, or, you know, whatever shape you need. So that's a good thing about it. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. 450 bucks seems a little bit pricey, but if you go price tonneau covers or price out the materials it'll take you to make your own, it's not a bad deal. So one idea I have that we'll see is if over time that vinyl becomes an issue for, you know, it's going to wear out eventually, I may just try to weld a piece of sheet aluminum on there. There's a nice bow. It's hard to pick it up with the camera here, but there is a nice, very mild bow in the center of it, so that water will sheen off it, will roll off either side, so it's kind of crowned. It would be pretty easy to just weld a piece of sheet aluminum on there. I don't know, we'll see. But that's the CraftTec cover. I'll put their info in the comments down here. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not listed on their website for the Beetle, so you just call them and or email them. They're very helpful. They know exactly what you're talking about when you tell them a Smyth Ute, and they ask you to go measure your bed and give them the exact measurements of your bed, because they all come out just a little bit different. And then they'll give you the fabric options. There are colors available, but they're a little more expensive. Hope this helps you decide if this is the product for you. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for the support, and have a good day.